So what's up, buddy? One Piece 1045. Wow, this chapter was zany, cartoony, and just weird. Like, I had to reread this chapter 3 times to really understand what was going on because, wow, that's crazy. But this chapter is still a good action-packed chapter, just very Looney Tunes. It makes me feel like I was watching Bugs Bunny or the Coyote and the Roadrunner, also Tom and Jerry. It's like real nostalgia for like old, like Western American cartoons. So let's get into this crazy One Piece 1045 chapter. First of all, if you like anime, manga reviews, discussions, spoilers, and theories, definitely hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, comment, subscribe. If you want to see content on Black Clover, check out my main channel. This channel is basically One Piece. Check out the Discord and Patreon. This chapter was very confusing. Looking at the fight with Luffy and Kaido, Luffy is just having fun. Honestly, it feels like the Roadrunner or Tom and Jerry type of feel. This is like the 3rd time that Luffy basically been inside Kaido's mouth. I know that sounds horrible. He's literally been chomped on before. Zoro saved him the first time, and then the second time Kaido threw him out and did a blast breath point range, and then this time Kaido just ate him. But it was funny because the way Kaido ate him, Luffy did a lot of crazy stuff while he was going down. The crazy thing about this awakening and Gear 5th is the fact that Luffy literally turns everything to rubber. He turned Kaido into rubber, and that's something I just didn't understand. I was like, what is going on here? Like, you're seeing Luffy literally put his arms through Kaido's eyes so he can bolt himself up, and it's just like, what is going on here? But I realized is that Luffy turned Kaido into rubber and he turned his eyes into rubber. So when you see Luffy's arms going through and passing Kaido's eyes, it's not that he just pierced through Kaido's eyes. His eyes are being stretched in the form of Luffy's arms, and then he grabs on and then pulls himself out of Kaido's stomach. It was very confusing. And then there's another part when Kaido gets punched in the face and then Luffy's arm goes through him, and I thought there should be like brain matter everywhere, but that's not the case. What happened is that Luffy punched him and that punch went through Kaido, but because Kaido became rubber as well, it made the part that Kaido got punched stretched along with Luffy, and it forms a shape of Luffy's arm, which is crazy. Luffy's power is wacky and powerful. It's literally god tier. One Piece has always been kind of like wacky and weird. One Piece wasn't always that serious. I mean, look at the mouths of the characters, how they drop really big. I mean, that's really what turned me off at the beginning of the story, but now that little zany wackiness is what makes me love One Piece so much, because it stands out from other mangas. Because yes, One Piece gets serious at times, and when it gets serious, it's so epic, but it still has an undertone of just lightheartedness. Other mangas, they don't have that wacky and comical moments as One Piece. If you think about it, it matches Luffy. Luffy is the same way as well. Luffy is basically lighthearted. Of course, his personality has changed as the story went. He became more of a captain than just like a super happy-go-lucky person, but it matches who Luffy is, and who Luffy is eventually made Luffy get this new power up, because I'm pretty sure other people had Luffy's devil fruit before, but they didn't have that creativity and that happy-go-lucky somewhat sense to him that made them get to the level of awakening this devil fruit. That creativity, that freedom, that not taking himself so seriously is literally this power up, and Joy Boy, it's in the name, basically brings joys to people. So I really like this. I really like how this fight was very zany, cartoony. Tom and Jerry, Luffy is the mouse and Kaido is the cat. It's great seeing Kaido being used as a jump rope. Like, I wasn't feeling the battle at first, but like afterwards I'm like, man, like, this is good. Like, at first I was like, wow, Oda is doing some type of drug. Thinking back of the series, you start realizing how great this chapter is because of the fact that it's what One Piece is about, just intensify. There is aspects of One Piece being converted to Journey of the West. Like I said before in other videos, that One Piece is kind of the story of Journey to the West. Monkey D. Luffy, the main character's last name is Monkey. In the Journey of the West, the monkey is not the main character, but he was an important character for a few books. The Journey to the West is the monkey being a normal monkey and then eventually being enlightened to become a Buddha, which is something similar to what Luffy just did. Luffy, throughout the series, he's been being Luffy. kind of similar to the monkey in Journey to the West, just getting into trouble, getting to shenanigans. There was a point that Luffy almost got his head chopped off, and he was smiling the whole time. Their personalities are very similar, and then now that Luffy went from being that to basically becoming a god and somewhat divinity in One Piece because of his devil fruit is literally divinity, the monkey in Journey to the West becomes a Buddha, which is enlightened in his divinity in a sense. So it's very interesting comparing those two, and this chapter just kind of gave more light to that because of the fact that the fight is becoming more of Western cartoons versus like anime, because you see these things in like Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry, those type of stuff, like the Roadrunner versus the Coyote, Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd, like these type of stuff. You see these things in those type of cartoons, and it's more Western. And then the Journey to the West has West in it. I like it. It's nostalgic, especially if you grew up watching Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes as a kid. Funny enough, I was the only non-white kid in my school, and I actually went to the school that the granddaughter of the creator of Looney Tunes went to. She was in my class. I'm not entirely sure if it's true, but she said it. I'm just putting out that possible fact. She could have been lying, but I never questioned people's lineage. This chapter was good. I really liked it. So in this chapter, with all the goofiness and kind of the lightheartedness, it gives you kind of a sense of death. We start realizing that Luffy is exhausting himself, risking his life using this power, because we saw him get out of the form for a little bit because he was completely out of energy and he looked like an old man. It looks like that's going to be the drawback. What happens when Luffy uses this gear? When Luffy used to use third gear, fourth gear, and now fifth gear, there's always been like a drawback for him using that power. Luffy mentioned Pedro, and I hope Pedro stays dead. I really hope that the Will of P is not a thing where characters look like they die and they end up coming back to life somehow. I'm not going to mention their names. I don't want to jinx the fact that Pedro might be dead, but I just hope this is not foreshadowing that Pedro pops out of nowhere alive and he's just there. But yes, that's all I have to say about this chapter. Let me know what you think about One Piece 1045. Do you like how zany it was, or do you think it was just too cartoonish? Do you appreciate Luffy's new powers, or do you think that Luffy's new powers are kind of just too Looney Tune-ish for you? Alright, like if you liked the video, comment, subscribe, and I'm out of here.